young kids whose parents couldn't take it lightly or couldn't come to terms with the Achimota school which the guy want to go. The condition all remains the fact that he's on dread. And let's spark a lot of talking. It was actually the talk of the week. And here we are, finally, they've actually sued the school, the almighty Achimota Secondary School. So we yet to find out as to whether what's actually going to be this response of the school and whether they're really going to win the case. There's been so many instances where people have come up with a lot of examples as to why that boy should be allowed into the school. But, the processes as it starts with the court proceedings as to whether they're going to start it today or tomorrow, we're not sure. We probably want to believe that they have their lawyers and all those who would get involved to see if he really qualifies and should be allowed to go to the Achimota school. This has also been the talk on the lips of a few dreadlocks careers in Ghana who believe that this has nothing to do with the criteria to be able to admit students into the secondary school, all sorts or level of education. And as usual, just as we do, we'll bring you one or two events around the world. We look at Africa. Now there's a terror strike in Mozambique. Now Buhari also be traveling to London, or his medical check here in London has caused a few eyebrows. You see, but what we don't know is most politicians in Africa. It's always been the fact that if the Western world would able to raise hospitals or build hospitals with good logistical support and facilities to be able to take care of the citizenry. What stops Africa from doing that? On one event when I saw a Nigerian minister or something who came to whether America or somewhere in Europe to have a medical checkup or medical care, and then the citizenry, those are the diaspora, the Nigerians who lives abroad, drug him saying that you should go back home and then take care of yourself. Some of the things that they couldn't believe it. But bottom line is, it's becoming fond of us that it looks as if we could only get the good things only in the Western world. I don't believe that, but unfortunately, that's what it seems to be. And then Floyd, George Floyd, remember the black man who was actually killed? That sparked a lot of chaos in America when Donald Trump was in power. This is also something that seems to be an ongoing issue. We'll be looking at all that very soon. They've started off with the proceedings in court, and I believe it's going to last for some time to be able to deal with it, and so perhaps they find a verdict against the man who murdered him.
You are listening to GN Radio UK.
Okay, so if you just join us, I can see my good friend Afo, who seems to be very much, particular into politics, just said that he misses Donald Trump. I don't know what, somebody would say that he wouldn't know what would make one miss Donald Trump, but though he was controversial, he was a man who always carried news across. His appearance within the American politics itself is just something else. The fact that he came up with is quite hard to believe policies. One was the Mexican War, which he promised to build. Well, until now, maybe Biden will continue. Right, so I have actually selected a few topics to talk about it, and something that I believe will tickle your interest. This is the ongoing issue in America, and it reminds me of how pathetic everybody felt, especially even the white who thought the way mother George Floyd was killed was not the best of issue. But at the end of the day, at least the noise they made, especially the blacks who caused chaos in America, we want to see. Probably this case would have been sworn down the carpet and then wouldn't have come this far with justice, which would require all of us in the whole world. I mean, if you look at the fact that they choke a man who's already tied his hands at the back, it's quite difficult to believe that somebody can be this a monster.
Fellow Ghanaians,
okay, very soon I'm going to play you the speech that Akufo-Addo had just a few days ago, with what we call, if you want, prior to the Easter message that he shared with the Ghanaians not too long ago. It's not looking too bad anyway. But let's see how that is going to impact the country, what he said. I mean, over the medium in Ghana, he had quite a lengthy speech prior to this Easter. But first of all, I'd like to say I wish you all the belated Easter, if not today as Friday, anyway. Because last Sunday was a Palm Sunday. A lot of people took advantage, had some palm nut soup, and it's actually my favorite. You're on GN Radio, and it's 8 o'clock, and you're live on Facebook, especially those watching us live on Facebook, I'm going to play you Akufo-Addo's speech, which he had not too long ago. I'm going to get my producer to get that sorted very soon. Now, what about do you know that in Mozambique there's been a terror attack, and then Buhari is also in this country for a medical checkup? As I said earlier, we look at all these, you know. If you remember Kofi Wayo very well, Kofi Wayo was one politician who was full of drama. Now, he had always had what we call quite controversial, issues. Especially, I remember when we had power problem in the Tema oil refinery. He claimed we should put water in it, but he had one particular thing he was talking about: the fact that Africa can be on their own instead of getting all these international arms and support from the Western world. I'm sure that is why he believes that we're being controlled by their policies. Otherwise, if Africa can stand on itself and then do things on its own, I don't think we keep having this problem. Okay, so let's go straight and then play you that speech Akufo-Addo had. I think it's ready.
Fellow Ghanaians, I bring you warm greetings from Jubilee House, the seat of our nation's presidency. Easter is upon us once again, and with it comes a solemn yet very important reminder of the death and resurrection of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, which is the foundation of our very faith as Christians. Easter symbolizes God's plan of salvation for our redemption from sin and the grave, and it must rekindle in us the Christ-like virtues of faith, hope, love, and forgiveness. This is further amplified in the words of Holy Scripture in Isaiah chapter 53, verse 5, which reads, and I quote, "He was pierced for our transgressions. He was crushed for our iniquities. The punishment that brought us peace was upon him, and by his stripes we are healed. We all, like sheep, have gone astray. Each one has turned to his own way, and the Lord has laid on him the iniquity of us all." The season is thus a good opportunity to reflect on that sacrifice and the hope it brings us. Last year, due to the onset of the pandemic, we had a muted Easter celebration, and we all agreed that the usual festivities associated with Easter had to be cancelled. We were faced with an unknown foe, and we therefore had to take the difficult but necessary decisions to protect our lives and livelihoods. 1 year on, COVID-19 is still with us, even though we continue to adhere to the mask wearing and enhanced hygiene protocols. We began a vaccination campaign with some 600,000 persons vaccinated. We expect that in the course of the coming week, an additional 300,000 vaccines which we have purchased would have arrived in the country for deployment. Our target is to vaccinate 20 million persons by the end of the year. In other words, the whole adult population of Ghana. Whilst the vaccination campaign is going on, the number of active cases, which stood at over 7,000 a few weeks ago, is on a steady decline, currently at some 1,746. Clearly, my fellow Ghanaians, we're by no means out of the woods, and so we'll have to endure this year another quiet Easter, devoid of public gatherings and the merry-making that characterize the season. There'll therefore be no Easter conventions, Easter picnics, parties, or gatherings at the beaches. Church services must be held for a maximum of 2 hours, and the requisite social distancing rules must be strictly obeyed. Nightclubs, cinemas, and pubs continue to be closed. Funerals, concerts, theatrical performances, and parties are banned. Private burials with no more than 25 people can take place with the enforcement of the social distancing, hygiene, and mask-wearing protocols. Spectators are still banned from going to the stadia to watch football matches. The police service will ensure strict conformity to these restrictions, and anyone found to be flouting them will be dealt with in accordance with law. We also have the gains we made prior to last year's Christmas, where our active case count stood in the hundreds, were eroded because of our failure to continue to adhere to the protocols. Collectively, we have since worked hard to ensure a marked reduction in the number of active cases. And government, together with the security services, will make sure that this time these gains are protected. Let us be each other's keeper until COVID-19 is eradicated and poses no more threats to our lives and livelihoods. I know that as a result of the pandemic and its impact on the economy, things are not what we would like as far as the economy is concerned. We have, however, outlined a series of measures which I am confident will begin the revival and revitalization of the economy. And the rapid growth of the economy which we witnessed before the pandemic will be back again. The future is bright. Whilst protecting ourselves from COVID-19, I want to make another appeal to you on a matter of considerable importance, not only to me, but to the entire populace. Year in, year out, accidents on our roads have been tragically a part of the celebration of Easter. This year, we must do everything possible to reduce this occurrence to the barest minimum. The Motor Traffic and Transport Department of the Police Service has reiterated its determination to enforce the road traffic laws and regulations. And it is my hope that this Easter will be celebrated without any road accidents. Let us help them in this endeavor by minimizing our speed, taking due precaution for other road users, driving without the influence of alcohol, and wearing our seatbelts. Like we have done with the COVID-19 safety protocols, let us also embrace a positive road safety culture that keeps our families and nation safe. Fellow Ghanaians, I know this is not how we wanted to celebrate Easter. However, just like Christ rose again on the third day, I'm sure that Ghana and indeed the whole world will rise again. As we celebrate Christ's victory over sin, death, and the grave, let us observe all safety protocols and stay safe. On behalf of my beautiful wife, Rebecca, my children and family, and on behalf of government, I wish all Ghanaians a happy Easter, with the hope that the blood spilled on the cross will heal our land and cleanse us of our iniquities. Just as Christ is risen, Ghana will also rise. May God bless us all in our homeland, Ghana, and make her great and strong. And thank you for your attention, and happy Easter.
Okay, so that was His Excellency Adodankwa Nana Akufo-Addo. That is a speech he made over the prior to the weekend or prior to the Easter Friday, which, it comes across, educating the public still to maintain the COVID protocols. Apart from that, to also wish Ghanaians the best and safe Easter as we get along with the festivities.
Far more than you can think that he will.
I believe that most Ghanaians and across the world, if wherever you're based in any part of the world, you adhere to what he just permitted through the world, believing that such observing such protocols and such would actually be very good for all of us. Now, any event that comes across or that seems to bump into the coronavirus lately seems to be, whether overpowering or overshadowing. Now, even the next lockdown, that the very coming of uplifting or what's the word, if you like, on the 12th, we're going to be open again to the public, or what we call the social intercourse. And people are going to drink at the bar and all that. But what difference is it going to make? We'll come back. We'll be talking about all this very soon. But I've got something from Esther Mwako. We call this one, He Can Do It. If you don't have faith, believe that whatever God has promised you definitely come to pass. It's always a matter of time. Just stay tuned. He can do it for you.
That he will never do. He about you. He can do it better for you. Far more than you can think that he will ever do.
You are listening to GN Radio UK.
When you stand against any trials, which shatters all your dreams and smiles, and your footsteps are fully crushed, do not fear, for God is in control. He's alone. Is anything too hard for him? He's the Lord. He has said it, and sure he will do. Hold on to your faith, your confession, all the days of your life, and you will see the hand.
Now, what makes this song very interesting is actually the lyrical content. Listen again.
Do it better for you.
You see, He is the Lord, and He will definitely do it for you.
He will
Especially if you hold on to your faith. I want to say good morning to a very good friend of mine,
do it.
Hakeem of Watford,
Far more than
one of the great uncles in my life.
you'll ever
So much inspirational to me. Good morning, sir.
do it better for you tonight. Far more than you can think that he will ever. He can do for me, yeah.
Somebody just requested for an encore because it's a good music. He can do it for you. All right, Matilda, this goes out for you.
He can do it better for you. Far more than you can think that he will ever do. He about
GN Radio UK.
do it better for you. Far more than you can think that he will ever do. He's the Lord. Is anything too hard for him? He's the Lord. He has said it, and sure he will do. Hold on to your faith, your confession, all the days of your life, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. He's the Lord. Is anything too hard?
Okay, how is the weather looking like this morning? I thought about coming back to it to look at how you can dress appropriately, especially when you come on out of your house. We don't want you to be sick. This summer, it promises to be very good. Hopefully by June, July, coronavirus will be gone. And they'll be celebrating all the parties and the rest. But hey, you know what? There's one thing you need to understand, that look, even if
Far more than you
you coming out, you have to dress appropriately. You don't wish you getting any hypothermia.
He can do it better for you. Far more than you can think that he will ever do.
Okay, so the weather today, it says a cloudy day. It's going to be cloudy in a day with occasional brightness developing during brief breaks, and the cloud just staying dry throughout with gentle northeasterly winds. And then tonight, it is going to be a dry night
When you stand,
with a mixture of patchy clouds and clear spells expected throughout.
All your
And the clouds will become increasingly thick towards dawn. Gentle northerly winds. Okay, so that is by way of weather.
do not fear for God.
And let's go straight to the our tube lines as well. Especially the fact that we don't want you to get stuck in the middle of the way or in the middle of the sea.
said it, and she already would do.
Hold on to your faith, your
That is a bit of a idiomatic speech.
life.
And you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. He can do it. He can do it better for you. Far more than you can think that he will ever do. He ever do. He can do it better for you. Far more than you can think that he will ever do.
Okay, so let's go to the tube lines and look at how the tube lines are also doing. Now, the Circle line is suspended. We have the Hammersmith and City has minor delays. A part closure with the London Overground. The Northern line has part closure. Piccadilly line also has part closure. And then TfL Rail has part closure. Tram part closure. Now, the Waterloo City has planned closure. And then Bakerloo Central District Metropolitan Line. Now, the Victoria DLR all having a very good service.
To your faith, your confession.
All right, so be mindful of that, especially when you're going everywhere. And then you can know your way out, not to get stuck in the middle of the way. As I said earlier, you're live on Facebook. This is GN Radio, your up-to-the-minutes news channel. We're bringing you all events which you couldn't get from Monday, which day today was brought to you by Dr. Minus. I want to say good morning to Darling J, my main boss. Kubu.
Think that he will ever do.
Okay, so to outline the topic which we're going to discuss today, we're going to look at, first of all, the ongoing Floyd. You remember the gentleman who was choked to death. Was it last year, I suppose? And then, this sparked a lot of, was it this year? That sparked a lot of chaos in America during the term of Donald Trump. Now, the public realized that he couldn't do much about it. And then he thought with his racial known persona, if you want, he could have done something about it, or we believe he did less about it. And then, well, one thing that I share or sentimented with him was the fact that he believed that riots causing a lot of looting and stuff like that wouldn't be the best option to actually deal with the situation. But hey, where are we going with that case? What I personally like about Floyd's death response, especially when the blacks, raised their voices, because they believe that if they had not done that, it wouldn't have resulted in the courts where the guy has to be brought to book, especially when the blacks have to strike. Because there have been most of these incidents going on and on in America. They're quite quite heartbreaking ones. One that I remember, a young geezer who was on a mission, what we call Africa or somewhere in Ghana as a national service or something, who got killed because he was reported to have had what we call a toy gun for his expedition or for whatever reason, who got killed by a policeman. It didn't go anywhere. And then, it was getting quite out of hand. So they have to make a lot of noise to be able to bring all these to book.
You are listening to GN Radio UK.
Okay, so I'm going to play that as well for you to hear very soon. Well, George Floyd issue is in now. Well, I can see my technical producer trying to play that. The ongoing case of George Floyd. But at 9 o'clock, I'm going to open the phone lines and I'll look at what people are going to say about the response, and the phone calls will be open and all that. Thank you very much, Big Joe, for that work done. I can see you trying to get it ready so we can look at the ongoing proceedings of George Floyd, who died in America. I mean, I think it's about time we wake up. I'm not saying that I want to be happy to see my fellow white as well. Sorry, my fellow, apart from black, to say we're interested to see the incidents of the blacks. Or the other way around, we see the white being killed as well. But, the racial segregation in America, I don't think we can eradicate it completely. But if you listen to the video, Big Joe, if you want to play it for me, please.
Floyd's what I would call a mama's boy. I could tell from the minute I met him. He loves his mom so much.
Do you swear or affirm under penalty of perjury that the testimony you're about to give will be the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do. Both Floyd and I, our story, it's a classic story of how many people get addicted to opioids. We both suffered from chronic pain. Mine was in my neck and his was in his back. We both had prescriptions. We got addicted and tried really hard to break that addiction many times.
And then kind of going forward to May of 2020, was there a time when you thought he might be using again?
Yes.
Do you recall telling the FBI that you bought pills from Mr. Hall 1 week prior to Mr. Floyd's death?
Yes, but I wasn't there. I wasn't there. I didn't see anything happen.
Yesterday, when you met with prosecutors, did you tell them that you were in the car at a hotel?
Yes.
When those pills were purchased?
Yes.
And that you were on the phone with Mr. Floyd at that time?
Yes.
And you heard a voice in the background?
Yes.
And that was a voice you recognized to be from Mr. Hall?
I thought so, yeah.
From what I could see where I was at, I didn't see any breathing or movement or anything like that.
Did he appear to be unresponsive to you at that point in time?
From what I could tell, just standing from a distance, yes.
And while your partner was checking for a pulse and checking pupils, were the officers still on top of George Floyd while that process was going on?
Yeah.
So you determined that his pupils were large and dilated. What about a pulse?
I did not palpate a pulse.
And when you say palpate, is that you didn't feel or detect a pulse?
I did not detect a pulse.
And what did his condition appear to be to you overall?
In lay terms, I thought he was dead.
Yeah, I was just going to call you and have you come out to our scene here. Not really, but we just had to hold the guy down. He was going crazy, wasn't going shutting off for the moment.
Based on your review of the body-worn camera footage, do you have an opinion as to when the restraint of Mr. Floyd should have ended in this encounter?
Yes.
What is it?
When Mr. Floyd was no longer offering up any resistance to the officers, they could have ended the restraint.
And that was after he was handcuffed and on the ground and no longer resisting?
Correct.
Thank you. I have no further questions, Your Honor.
Right. So you had that. This is the ongoing of the Floyd, the court proceedings that started off. I'm not sure how long it's actually going to last, but if you look at the whole concept as to how the man was killed, it's something that it's just out of hands. And even what breaks my heart is the very whites who we assume are very racist. Not all whites are racist. We're not saying that. But what I want to know is, if you look at the manner in which he died, it looks as if it was something that he wasn't, if not the radar within the jurisdiction of somebody who saw this as somebody who is targeted or is noted to be some sort of with his previous crimes or what he must have done in the past. I don't think an animal will even be killed this way. I'm sure this is what got the whole world annoyed, and they had to do something about it. In America, those who seems to be very particular about laws in dealing with the humans, or what we call the human relations, it would be to your understanding. But at 9 o'clock, hopefully I'll be opening the phone lines, and then we'll be talking about how to, go with your ideas. So what do you think led to this? If a human being, full-blooded, live human being as strong as he was, to be choked to death. But the question that went on time to time until now was, how come somebody whose hands are tied behind him, somebody whose face is lying on the floor, could be harmful to a policeman if you've been very cautious to actually deal with somebody who's a threat to society, not the very people involved. This is American, whether the CIA, whether, so these are some of the things we're going to be looking at. It's just about 3 minutes to hit the top of the hour. I'd like to say good morning to Mr. Ted Kofi, as one of great journalists I've been looking up to for some time now. Mr. Kofi Ali, I can see you as well. Zonto Wali, a very good friend of mine. We'll be talking about all these. When is how late? To GN Radio, if you just join us. We'll be looking at some of the topics we've been dealing with this morning. We're talking about Mozambique. There's a terror attack there. Buhari is here in England, and quite a few things like that. Ghana in Parliament. Harunata, a change of office, is also something that has raised a lot of eyebrows to Ghanaians. We'll be talking about all these very soon. Don't go away, just stay with us.
Hold on to your faith, your confession, all the days of your life, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. He can do it, he can do it, do it, do it, do it better for you. Far more than you can think that he will ever do. He ever do, he can do it, do it, do it, do it better for you. Far more than you can think that dreams and smiles, and your footsteps are fully crushed. Do not fear, for God is in control. He's alone. Is anything too hard for him? He's the Lord. He has said it, and surely will do. Hold on to your faith, your confession, all the days of your life, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. You can do it.
All right, let's say good morning to Captain Zontawali, Justice Ebo. Just notify me you're listening.
A precious kind of way, yeah. He can do it, do it, do it, do it better for you now. Far more than you can think that he will ever do.
Now, I'm tempted to actually open the phone line this morning for some reason. It looks safe before 9 o'clock because I can see messages coming my way. A lot of people want to talk about it, but hey, at least let's get it to about 8:45 o'clock where we can have quite a few number of people who want to call in and then look at the submissions with the issue that I have brought to you. Hopefully I should get Mr. Idris from Nigeria, journalist friend of mine, to give us the update about Buhari here in the UK for medical checkup. So what about Nigerians helping us to deal with corruption? That issue brought a lot of. It was very amusing, but I didn't see the authenticity of that. I couldn't see substantiative. I think this morning I need to drink some coffee so that my English will come very well. Substantiative source of that idea that Nigerians is going to help us deal with corruption, because Nigerians are senior brothers anyway. Much respect, Mr. Hakim. Anyway, right. So 31 past 8 o'clock. Mr. Kofi Ali, Mr. Ted Kofi, and all of you, and my very good friend, Mr. Felix. We've not spoken for a while. Unfortunately, I'm doing the whole of compilation of news, not like Monday to Friday anymore. So at least we're here to gather all the information that has gone on over the week, Okay, so I'm going to give you the updates about the terror attack in Mozambique that has dozens of people are dead following an attack by Islamist militants on a town in northern Mozambique, officials says. Hundreds of militants stormed Palma on Wednesday, targeting shops, banks, and a military barracks. 7 people were killed trying to escape a siege on a hotel, said Osama Omar Saranga, a spokesperson from the country's defense department. Militants are linked to the Islamic State IS group behind the conflicts in a predominantly Muslim region. Now, the fighting has left more than 2,500 people dead and 700,000 displaced since the insurgency began in 2017. Hundreds of others, both locals and foreigners, were reportedly rescued from Palma after the attack. Wednesday have described hiding out while waiting to be rescued by boat on a beach strewn with headless bodies. Now, marine traffic websites showed a string of vessels around the country at the port of Pamba to the south as people try to escape by any means. Now, cargo vessels, passenger ships, tugs, and recreational boats. Palma is near a major gas project run by the French energy giant Total, and more than 100 workers and civilians took refuge in town's Amarula Palma Hotel. Right. So, apart from the lead story, this is the update as to where we've gotten to so far from 2017 till now. What do you make of this? The conflict is in everywhere. Sani Watara and all of that in African news. We'll be bringing you more. And may his soul rest in peace still. Magufuli of Tanzania, who died recently. I'm sure they're not done with his funeral yet. Very soon. We'll update you about how it is actually going to go if they file. I know his partner has taken over as an interim leader of the country. But hey, the coronavirus is still there. Do not go anywhere. You have to still know that you observe the protocols. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to align the phone lines. If it interests you, especially if you want to leave and go somewhere, then you can do your call, do your submissions, and then we talk about that. But now let's look at Buhari. Buhari is is actually coming here for medical checkup in UK. My question is, as I said with Kofi Ali with Kofi Wayu's issue, that he doesn't believe in the foreign or the Western helping Africa with all aspect of development, especially when it comes to medical care, and the IMF is there for the money and all that. But how long and how often are we just going to remain borrowers? If this tickles your sense of concern, you can ring us on 0203 7358820, 0203 735 8820, or 0203 286 0185, 0203 286 0185. You can also WhatsApp us on 077 87939958, 077 87939950, and then we can have a chat, and then at least I know what your concerns are, and then you're on GN Radio, just to let you know that.
I fully crashed. Do not fear, for God is in control. He's alone. Is anything too hard for him? He's the Lord. He has said it, and surely will do. Hold on to your faith, your confession, all the days of your life, and you will see the hand of the Lord in your life. You can do it. You can do it. Do it.
Okay, so here is what I was actually looking for. The story says Buhari heads to UK for medical treatment as doctors strike erupts at home. Okay, so as Nigeria faces down a coronavirus pandemic and doctors launch a national strike to protest against the working conditions and salary arrears, the president has left the country to seek medical assistance in the United Kingdom. An irony that has not gone unnoticed. Buhari has now spent 170 days abroad for treatment during his presidency. Now, when he arrived in office, Buhari promised to raise the standard of living for the many with a basic healthcare part of the deal. Now, I am aware out of pocket payment for health constitute over 70% of total health expenditure, said Buhari at the opening of a new healthcare facility in 2017. My presence here today demonstrates our administration's commitment to put the health of Nigerians as a top priority. Okay, so now what I would want to hear from you, just in case you're able to, sail through your calls and get here. Why must we travel? I mean, it's a very basic concern of every African. The fact that we always have to travel to abroad for medical assistance. I mean, from time immemorial, it doesn't seem to stop. I mean, these are some of the issues that seem to be bothering quite a few people. But hey, you wanna give me a buzz? We'll talk about that, and then we'll be going to Ghana. I'll be talking about the Parliament, Speaker of Parliament. There's quite a few issues to discuss also in Ghana. Well, thank you very much. Shout out. We talk later. Yeah, I can see that. Okay, now, lastly, we're talking about on the 12th of this month, we're gonna the lockdown is going to be lifted, and people are still going to be around, go carry their normal activities until the different tiers, if you want, opens, and then maybe finally in July, all of us would be available to do our work, peacefully. But the question is, when are we totally going to get coronavirus out of this system entirely? Then we will have it again. So the measures are that we can drink. People can drink. I don't drink anyway. People can drink at the pubs and then have their glasses together just around the pub, but they can't sit down as normal being served at the bar. What is the difference? What is the difference apart from the shops that are going to be open? I believe not everything is going to be open, but at least with the bar and the pubs and all that, people are going to drink, but they're going to stand, And then these are some of the things that really I don't seem to get it properly. I mean, how that is going to work. If they just don't want to open the bar, they might as well leave it as it is. I mean, we're not dying. If we're not drinking, we're still alive anyway. Right, so at 8:41, you are on GN Radio. And, well, as you can see, we left about at least 15 minutes to be out of here. At 9:30, BWF Solicitors will be here with Manyati. I will also be giving us about the latest developments with legality in this country, with those who want to live in this country permanently. Now, let me take one song. When I come back, we will go on with the show. Oh dear, what can I play? Okay, let's play some Amachididi, and then we can take this as a break. When we come back, we go on. Just stay tuned. Don't go anywhere.
Dr. Morton, you are one of the greatest guys I have met. One of the really nice guys on the radio, one of the nicest guys meeting at events. What more can I say? Nobody could get no finer.
Hey, everybody. Hi, my name is Jan Mafanko. I'm a sports journalist, but I love music. And my number one choice is Dr. Morton. Keep it locked right here with Doc.
All day, na me Jimmy once, and I said, can you mean you all day, now won't me do yes. All day, na me Timmy once, and I said, can you mean you?
I've got the. I want to go to the Ghanaian Parliament and look at what is happening there. Now, let's look at the news first. I know that there's quite a lot going on in our Parliament today. And did Ablakwa breach the standing orders of Parliament with his resignation? Inusa Hussaini explains. Well, I'll take it again. Say, did Ablakwa breach the standing orders of Parliament with his resignation? Inusa Hussaini explains. The former MP for Tamale Central says Samuel Okudzeto's Ablakwa's resignation from the Appointments Committee of Parliament is unknown to parliamentary practice and procedure. Ablakwa communicated his resignation from the committee and the letter addressed to Speaker Alban Bagbin, though the immediate and direct triggers are subjects of wild speculation that Ablakwa himself says the reasons for his resignation are both personal and based on principles. Well, this is a public person and a servant of the nation, with this initiative. If you resign, whether or not you're doing Ghanaians a service, I believe that we have to, at least you have to lay bare what it is for Ghanaians to know that this is why I'm resigning. I don't think taking it personal is the best option. At the end of the day, well, we have our rights anyway, but with your position as is required of you, you have to keep updating us about your reasons, or if not politics, So, some of them they're very difficult to believe. Let's say, but Alhaji Inus Hussaini averts that regardless of the reasons, including the controversial approval of ministers by the Appointments Committee, which Ablakwa obviously does not like, that is not the route to take in circumstances such as this. I thought that it was important to hold fast to principles that you have, say, a consensus objector on the committee than to walk away. Alhaji, sorry, I've seen somebody calling. I couldn't pick it. If you want to try again, let me give you the number: 0203 735 8820 or 0203 286 0185. 0203 735 8820 or 0203 286 0185. And then we'll discuss whatever concerns you have over the topics I've actually discussed. Or the WhatsApp lines is 0778 793 9958. 0778 793 9985. Okay, so I thought that it was important to hold fast to the principles that you have stated, that you have, say, an consensus objector on the committee that to walk away. Alhaji Hussaini told Joy FM in a report monitored by Ghana Web on Thursday. According to him, the standing orders of Parliament are used to first constitute the committee on selection, which then constitutes the committees of Parliament. Therefore, no member can just say that they have resigned without first informing the chairperson of their committee. Hello? Oh, no, it's gone. I don't know why I can't pick the call, but I think it kept ringing until... Well, if you want to try again, whoever's calling, and I'll pick your call. We're talking about one Buhari here and UK Ghanaian Parliament needs to be called to order. Floyd's ongoing... what do we call it? Floyd's ongoing verdict in court. You can have a story here. Say you can even manage your small common fund, Adungu, under fire for criticizing Ofori Atta. Okay, so let me get my producer to play this, and then maybe we'll take it from there. Something that I had actually wanted to talk about. Okay. Okay, so you remember Ofori at recently he went to America for some medical checkup and all that. But you know, over the years we've seen his handling of finances in Ghana, quite controversial because of whether for party reasons or not. But this sparked a whole lot of things. I'm going to get this video played for you to see. So you can even manage your small common fund at Adungu. This is what he said recently. I believe my producer will get ready and then we'll play this. Okay, so, well, the time is 10 minutes to 9 o'clock. What about Akufo-Addo's speech? What do you make of that? I believe that you had some of the things he said concerning his Easter message. If you just join us, unfortunately, I don't think I can play that to you again, but if you just join us, you can go through and listen to him again if you didn't listen to him on Friday. Okay, so let's do some my favorites. This is I'm gonna do slow down, and I want you to listen. This is one of my favorites. Just listen to this one, and then we'll come back. This is Starboy, my man.
See that da da da, baby da 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 da. Oh, yeah.
You are listening to GN Radio UK.
See that sexy girl from Ghana. She too fine, one of a kind, I call her sexy nana. Yeah, she kill him inside, I can't deny her. Yeah. Cupid drop the instrumental straight from Ghana. Yeah. Say I be killing every show. I be rocking every party.
GN Radio UK.
Pull up and do the dirty wine for me. Say I be killing every show. Every day I'm getting money, and I wanna spend it all on the girl of my dreams, and that's you, my queen. Slow down, let me talk to you, my baby. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby. Slow down. Let me talk to you, my baby. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby. Slow down, slow gaga. Let me talk to you, my baby. Let me talk to you, baby. Hold on. Let me talk to you, my baby. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby.
The way she walk and ting, make the bad man want sing. Want you feel long and a short time fling. You deserve a diamond ring. Black woman skin smooth, where she no bleach, she no burn up. Make we take it back to the root. Tell me how you wanna roll up. I wanna make you my number one. See reality, I say I know they talk I want. Woman, if you give me your mind, down in your heart I go like yeah. Slow down. Let me talk to you,
my baby. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby.
Let me talk to you,
my baby. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby.
Slow down,
slow gaga.
Let me talk to you.
My baby, let me talk to you. Baby.
This is GN Radio UK.
Let me talk to you.
My baby, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby.
Your body shape, figure 8, African girl, your figure great, your beautiful smile, your pretty face, your lifestyle make me wanna date. We have kisses for breakfast, wishes for lunch. I wish I have you for supper. Bedanikasa, Ubekasa, laugh all night till you pass out, and I pass out, and we wake up in the morning, and I'm yawning when you calling, so I'm on it. Sex in the city, no darling. Don't be boring, you ain't enough spring. Bad girl, show me some bad things in slow mo. Moogies,
Yeah, you know.
tell her if she don't know.
Let me talk to you.
My baby, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby.
Okay, I'm going to have your attention for this announcement saying the return of all children and young people to school has been a huge success, with teachers and pupils delighted to be back. Thanks to NHS Test and Trace and all education staff, secondary and college people are now testing themselves regularly at home. Also, if you're a parent or in a support bubble of a child at nursery, school or college, you can have a rapid test twice a week if you don't have COVID-19 symptoms. Millions of people are already using regular rapid testing. By getting into a family routine of testing twice a week, you will be helping to keep those close to you safer. Tests are free, easy to find, and easy to use. To find more, visit nhs.uk/coronavirus. This is the end of the announcement. That's another important announcement that you must take advantage of. Right, so it's 4 minutes to 9 o'clock. See you on GN Radio.
Let me talk to you.
My baby, let me talk to you, baby.
Let me talk to you.
My baby, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby.
The way she walk on thing, make the bad man want sing. Want you feel long on a short time fling. You deserve a diamond ring. Black woman skin smooth. Where she no bleach, she no burn up. Make we take it back to the root. Girl, me and you wanna roll up. I wanna make you my number one. See reality, I say I know they talk I want. Woman, if you give me your mind, down in your heart I go like, yeah. Slow down. Let me talk to you.
My baby.
Okay, so it's nearly 9 o'clock, as I said. Now I fully open the phone line 0203 7358820 or 0203 2860185, or the WhatsApp line is 077 8793. But I've got a few messages here. Okay, so 077 8793 9958 077 8793 9958. Okay, so let me read some few text messages that I've got. It said, "Good morning, Dr. Morton. I think I'm very happy that Floyd's killer is brought to book. Then at least we know justice is served." This is coming from Kwame Peckham. And then this one also said that, you didn't bring your name. Is Buhari, like any other African leaders, must make sure they have the hospital facilities in Africa, so we wouldn't have any reason to travel. Okay, thank you very much. Any, if you want to send me a message again, you can bring it on 077 939985. Okay, so I think I've got a caller who said he's not getting through the lines. I don't know what the problem is. Okay, then let's see if we can get you. Yeah. Okay, so you're live on. Right, I've got Mr. Ted Kofi as here. Good morning, sir. Can you hear me, sir? Yes, I've got Mr. Ted Kofi, a renowned journalist and a well-experienced media mogul, if you like. Good morning, sir. I believe you must have seen all the topics that we have laid bare this morning. Can you hear me, Mr. Ted Kofi, please?
To send a message, just hang up.
I think he's gone. We'll try him again. Okay, that's fine. Oh dear, I don't know what's happened to the line, but I should be able to get him. Hello?
Why not leave a message?
Oh dear, okay. Right, we'll try him again when we get him. Okay, so we're talking about the Floyd's ongoing court case, and then we're also talking about Mozambique, the war that is happening, the terror attack that is happening, Buhari here in London, and then finally the Parliament in Ghana, what is happening to Speaker of Parliament, and what is the changes that Ablakwa also resigns, calls that personal. Should he leave it as it is, or must we at least know why he resigned? Okay.
See, I've been killing every show. Every day I'm getting money, and I wanna spend it all on the girl of my dreams, and that's you, my queen. Slow down. Let me talk to you, my baby. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby. Let me talk to you, my baby. Let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby. Slow down. Let me talk to you, my baby. Let me talk to you, baby.
Right. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Hello. Oh dear, what's happening to these lines, man? Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Oh yes, sorry, sir. I think I've been struggling with the lines, but you're live on air and very clear, sir. You're welcome to the news summary here on GN Radio, Mr. Ted Kofi, I believe.
Right.
Right. Any of the topic that tickles your fantasy, please.
Well, I mean, the first thing that came to my attention was Buhari's, I'd love to call it medical tourism, but if you're sick, there is nothing touristic about going abroad for treatment. The fact that African leaders constantly have to leave their native lands to go for treatment in elite medical institutions abroad has a flip side. It has another meaning. What it means is that the average person in their country will die if they become ill, because they certainly cannot afford the cost of travel or foreign medical treatment, particularly at a time like this in the pandemic, where even the cost of the PCR tests will not be available to the average person in Ghana. So it raises a massive problem about where our priorities lie in terms of home investment. I mean, without medical health we're talking Ghana now, for my people in Ghana, nothing else happens. Doesn't matter how well educated you are. If you don't have health, you don't have anything else. Am I making myself kind of clear?
Yes, you're very clear, sir.
So this is an issue, and I think that, and of course, health isn't cheap. Health is not cheap. And it seems to me that this is something which we have to come to a consensus on. And actually, for me, this subject bleeds into all the other subjects. Like, you're having this kerfuffle about Parliament being called to order, the resignation of somebody from the Appointments Committee, and so on and so forth.
Yes, sir.
It sounds like I call it football supporter politics. I'm a Man U fan.
I can tell.
Please
I know
forgive
you're
me.
Man U fan.
Please forgive me.
That's right.
I'm a decent person, really. But you see, I'm a Man U fan. I know that when after the match we're discussing what happened and so on and so forth, it is entirely tribal. I remember in the days of Roy Keane, he could go through the midfield on the other side, scythe everybody down, and Man U fans would be like, "Oh, what are you complaining about? What did he do?" So it seems as if your guys do something wrong, you're blind. If the other guys so much as even think about raising a foot on the football pitch, then they should be consigned to hell and condemned forever and ever and evermore. So while we do politics on this basis, we don't do politics on the basis of this is my party, this is a Tete Kofi party. My priorities are education, health, and infrastructure. And I'm going to go to the people to fight on that basis. It's never about the policies. This is a point. Look, it happened to Robert Mugabe. It's happened to Ofuriatta. It's happening to Buhari, not once, twice, because he's an elderly gentleman and he's really not very well. Now, this is a line in the sand. Sometimes we go to South Africa, whatever the case. The first priority for any country that's talking about independence is health. Look at Cuba. Cubans sent a team to Italy to go and support them with coronavirus. That's when the politicians in your country are doing their job. It seems as if we have inherited a mantle which reflects colonial politics. And in the colonies, they were the elite classes, being the colonizers who had access to everything and were treated slightly differently to everybody else. And then there were us, with the natives. And we were divided into two groups, the kind of the upper classes and then the masses.
Right.
And they certainly didn't give a damn about the masses. So now that we are independent, now that we have fought for and achieved our independence, what are we doing with it?
That's the question.
We don't have politics by issue. And this issue of health is massive. It's a sine qua non of politics. You don't have health, you don't have it. Look at the, excuse me getting quite activated about this, but it's so crucial to us, to our national security. We are taking the COVAX vaccine produced by AstraZeneca under license in India. That's two countries, Oxford University in the United Kingdom. Now we're talking about India, and it's being shipped to us. What part did we play in all of that? Look, I know I'm related to one or two world-beating medical experts. They're my family. World-beating medical experts. Why doesn't somebody set up a foundation for these people in Ghana so that we do our own research, so that we have our own vaccine? I have no doubt. I have no doubt whatsoever. Fiber optics couldn't have been created without a Ghanaian scientist called Mensah from MIT. I have no doubt about our ability and talent.
Yeah.
So back to the question of medical, tourism. Look, Fanti say "Wamfa yerba inya obi," meaning that you don't penalize somebody by way of health.
Yeah.
So God bless Oforiatta. God bless Buhari. I hope they get well very, very, very soon and come and do what it is that they want to do. But the red flag is, it means that the people in our country are dying hand over fist because we don't have those resources.
It's a shame, isn't it? It's a shame. It's a shame.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
And,
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead,
Mr.
please.
Kofi, I mean, it's been an existing problem right from, as if not the most basic thing that we all supposed to, understand. The fact that people travel to abroad, especially our politicians and leaders, for medical checkups. Is that something they don't believe they can get the same logistical support health-wise in back home?
No, I think it's irresponsibility. And please, let us not just blame the politicians, because we get the politicians and the
Are you saying
mindset
we shouldn't blame somebody
deserve.
we shouldn't blame somebody who is irresponsible?
I'm coming. Who is irresponsible? You see, if I think it was it Huxley or somebody who irresponsible.
Yes. All right. So whoever has called this guy again, could you? I think if you want to call the other lines apart from Sky, I'll be very happy.
Whoever has called this guy again, I think if you want to call the other lines apart from Sky, I'll be very happy.
Yes, I'll be very happy, please. I think that must have ended the call interrupted the call of Mr. Ted Kofi. Are you there, please? Oh dear. If you want to call again, I'm sorry, Mr. Ted Kofi. If you want to call again, I think a call came through. Okay, yeah. Yeah, hello.
Hello, good morning, Dr. Morton.
Yes.
Idris.
Good morning, Bauni. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Thank you very much, sir. Mr. Kofi, Ted Kofi, if you want to call the other line, I'm sorry, it got interrupted. I've got Mr. Idris here. How are you, sir?
I'm very fine. I think let me quickly make an interjection from the last caller.
Okay.
He's talking about Cuba.
Okay.
Yes, maybe it's very interesting to tell the world that Cuba does just not send to anybody or part of the world. Sending doctors outside Cuba to every part of the world has become a source of sovereign exchange for Cuba.
Okay.
Cuba made $11 billion every year, according to Times Magazine, which is 2 times bigger than any foreign exchange earning for Cuba, only on health. We've seen Cuban doctors in Ghana, we've seen Cuban doctors in Nigeria, we've seen Cuban doctors in South Africa, and almost every African country, apart from other parts of the world.
Right.
Apart from that, we've seen a very good example of what leadership could be in Rwanda.
Right.
Rwanda has been able to rebuild the health sector that has been consumed by years of genocide war.
Yeah.
To the admiration of the World Health Assembly in 2018.
Okay.
That says Rwanda has attained universal health coverage of 90% in just 24 years. The analysts might want to look at also the population of Rwanda in Southeast Africa, Nigeria, or some other large populated countries. But what's the most important there is the willingness of the leadership. That should not be taken away from that, irrespective of the size of the country. I don't know the difference between the size of population of Rwanda and Ghana. If Rwanda, a country that was consumed by genocide war, has been able to rebuild from ashes to the point of international admiration in 2018, we're talking of 2018. That speaks volume of what the leadership is all about. May I also quickly mention the Nigerian issue? Nigerian president in this year, the man that was elected on the cardinal principle of stopping corruption and public wastages.
Okay.
In just last year alone, Nigerian government budgeted 12.5 billion for presidential feet alone. 12.5 billion naira. That's about $1.7 billion.
That's a lot of money, man.
For presidential fleet alone. I mean, this is the same president whose wife came out to tell the world that there are no ordinary paracetamol in the health center of the presidential villa. And the last caller said maybe we will not blame the government. Who else are we going to blame? Are we going to blame the ordinary people?
Well, I think he summarized that, finally saying that it's irresponsibility, but there's no blame. But that's, to be honest with you, I side with you. I agree with you. Who else do we blame?
Who do we blame? Who made the policy?
Yes.
Who allocated the resources? Who made the law? Who has the capacity? Who has the capacity
Mr. Ted Kofi, please stay on the line. I've got Idris, who's online now, and then I'll come back.
No, I can hear him.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry I don't know what, I thought you cut me off.
No, I think it was a technical hitch that got your line dropped off. But I've got Mr. Idris online. Mr. Idris, go on, please.
Yes, so these are issues we are talking about. We don't have to go far to Cuba. We have an example in Rwanda that has set leadership example in the world. This was a man born in the refugee camp. Kagame was born in the refugee camp. He fought so many times in different wars. He has come back to rebuild his own country. People might have different opinions about Kagame in terms of human rights and abuses, but we have been able to highlight his impact in the health sector.
Hang on, Mr. Ted, can you hear Mr. Idris talking? Can you hear him?
Very, and he's making his case very clearly.
Okay.
Very, very clearly.
All right, go on, sir. Go on, Mr. Idris. Oh, I don't want to hold. Oh, dear. I hope I've not lost him. I think I've lost. Okay, Mr. Kofi, you're live on air, please.
Yeah. I mean, you see, I think that when I was speaking about the...
Oh, hello, Mr. Idris, are you back?
Yeah, back.
Oh, sorry, you're lying.
Let him finish.
Go on. Okay, he says you finished. Thank you, Mr. Kofi.
Okay,
Go
so we've been able to have a very good example here in Rwanda. I mean, if a country that was consumed by war, we all know what war is. And as a focus, and according to the last caller, if there is no head, there is nothing. If a country is not sustainable in healthcare, there is nothing that country has. Because everything you want to do is dependent on the health of your population. And I heard him talking about the vaccine. Yes. But what's the confidence? How much confidence is our government have? Do our government have in our health officials?
Yeah.
Maybe it might interest you that when in this analysis of COVID, all the international papers presented, all the researches presented on COVID, only 3% came from Africa.
Yeah.
And of the 3%, about 2% of it were foreign, just that they had references to Africa. But I think we can do much more better than that because we know we have the resources.
Okay.
We have the manpower. It's just about management.
That's your view of Africa's failure when it comes to delivery, especially when it comes to items and why we travel and all that. Do you agree with him, Mr. Ted?
I do. You see, one of the things, I did a couple of stories about Mr. Magufuli, who so tragically died 2-3 weeks back. And do you know that he was the only African leader who never traveled abroad during his presidency?
Very correct.
Only one. Number one. Number two, the only one who was entirely educated in Tanzania, got his first, second, and third degrees at the University of Dar es Salaam. And for me, this said something about mentality. This is a guy whose mindset was, we are good enough for ourselves. We can't do our own thing. Let's go forward and do it. Look at what he did. He went through the civil service and discovered that 20% of people were working with false qualifications. Cleared them out. He went through the health service. His example in the health service was spectacular. what people were doing was that first they're trained as doctors by the state, so they are required to work for the state in state hospitals. But then they set up private practices. So what they used to do was they'd go into the state hospitals, refer the patients to themselves in their private practices, and collect the money on both sides. The government salary for working in a hospital, and then the private fees for kicking back patients to themselves. But that Magufuli just stopped that overnight. Healthcare outcomes in Tanzania leapt forward. Here's the thing. Who was reading about that? Who was talking about that? Nobody. All that we heard was that he was a crazy guy who pulled a crazy stunt in which a goat, a sheep, and a pawpaw were all diagnosed as positive for COVID-19.
That was what was put globally about Tanzania. I couldn't agree with you, sir.
That was a spectacular stunt that he pulled. But you see, we don't follow the right news agenda either. You've done a story today about the terror in Mozambique, Cabo Delgado. And I remember, I read a couple of reports about one of the English guys who's dead. Look, a death is a death is a death. It's a terrible, it's a tragedy. Somebody's been made an orphan, someone's been made a widow, a grandmother has lost her grandchild. All of these things. Death is just a zero-sum game. Nobody gains. Okay? But that's not the real story of the terror in Mozambique. The terror is what is happening to the national gas and oil reserves just off the northern part of the region. And why is there so much poverty in that part of the country and unemployment, which should be the wealthiest of all? These are all own goals. They are all own goals. Now, as my friend said on the telephone just now, of course, leadership is the spark. But, we, the people, cannot sit back and say, well, it's a leader. Because we don't have a leader, let us trash our country. We have to review our personal cultural standards.
Okay, gentlemen, let me hold there. You see, my problem that I have with Africa, they're very basic. One, traveling for medical attention beyond the borders of Africa for, all these Western and Europe and all of that. It's been an existing problem, not today. From time immemorial. Now, when we talk about funds, like the IMF and quite a few of them, that's I believe that, we need money to survive and all that. But must it always be Africa going in for this? Is there going to be a time where we can match the standard of these Westerners borrowing us money? And, are we always going to be some sort of underdog, if you want, or always that the Western... Can we develop to... I know we can get to that stage, but first thing is, why not?
Right.
I've got a call coming in for the third line. Oh, dear.
Okay, you better take that because you don't want to lose him.
Go on, I think. Go on. I think that is not from. I don't know where that sound is coming from, but.
Okay. I can hear it beeping in my ear too. Yeah. I tell you, you see, the problem is.
Are you there, Idris, please?
Hello, I'm
okay.
here.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. The problem is whenever foreign funds come in, somebody wins. Somebody wins. And so, for example, every time we do a deal with China, with the EC, with the IMF, with the World Bank, something happens. There is
I think Idris is back.
Yes, I'm back.
Gentlemen, my time is getting limited because there's another program coming up very soon.
Yeah, it's a very interesting discussion today.
Yeah, you both have 2 minutes, please, if you want to round it up with your submissions of the fact that
let me round it. Let me round mine off.
Yeah.
The problem is that the foreign inflows of funds corrupt our countries. Magufuli cancelled deals he had with China, which would have mortgaged Tanzania to China. What are we doing? And you can guarantee that the officials that cut these deals cut in a percentage for themselves. I mean, it is simple. It's not rocket science. You know, it's 1 + 1 = 2. And I will rest there.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That submission is very important because we need, I don't know what we need to do, because I realize that in Africa, if 3 million people are praying for the country to be good, 10 billion wants the country to be bad so that they can eat from that rottenness. And that is where the tragedy of that continent lies. But I think it's not too late for us to be able to now. I understood. I read so much about Magafuli and the way he stood up to British government, the way he dealt with the British company that undervalued the Tanzanian gold and so many other mineral resources. Where is Magafuli now? Only God knows what happened to Magafuli. Magafuli is dead. But we can do better than this in Africa. It is not too late for us to begin, particularly the majority of us in diaspora who are exposed to these atrocities by the influence of the foreign money in Africa. I understand that I knew that the former Prime Minister in the United Kingdom visited Ghana. And what after leaving Ghana, what happened was the banking reform.
Okay, Idris, I think we're going to end here. Next week, we didn't get time to talk about the terror that happened in Mozambique and all that. But hopefully next week, Thursday or Friday, we'll get there and continue. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you.
Have a good day. Cheerio. Bye.
Oh dear. So I've taken a bit of Manya's time, but I hope she's forgiving me. So I'll see you hopefully next weekend, and we talk more on this one. Do stay tuned and have a good weekend. This has been Dr. Morton.
You deserve a diamond ring. Black woman skin smooth. Where she no bleach, she no burn up. Make we take it back to the root. Tell me how you wanna roll up. I wanna make you my number one. See reality, I say I know they talk I want. Woman, if you give me your mind, down in your heart I go like, yeah. So down. Let me talk to you. My baby, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby. Let me talk to you. My baby, let me talk to you. Let me talk to you, baby. Slow down. Slow gaga. Let me talk to you. My baby, let me talk to you, baby. Hold on. Let me talk